Hola chicos, es Professor Street aquí y vamos a aprender sobre saludos y despedidas. We're going to learn about saludos y despedidas. Now continue to remind you guys, whatever your goal is for this class, if it's actually to learn how to begin to speak Spanish, to learn how to continue learning it on your own, or to simply just finish the class and get over the requirement, any of those scenarios, speaking Spanish aloud is going to be the best thing that you can do. Whether you're reading words, saying things aloud, saying them in your head, finding opportunities to practice them, saying things aloud lends to conceptual understanding. This means that you're actually learning it instead of just remembering it to spit back at the end of the week quizzes and tests, right? And you can see that while you're at the university to get a particular degree, picking up proficiency in a language is a totally unattainable objective that you could do also. I'm going to try to keep these videos to around 8 to 10 minutes. I know you guys have a lot of stuff to do with your MindTap homework and your other classes, but let's get started. Some of these things we've seen before, like Buenas tardes, profesora. ¿Cómo está usted? So we have the usted form. He's talking directly to the professor, which would be second person, but it's formal. So we see that reflected in the verb está and also in the subject pronoun usted. And then what we saw in the previous video, ¿Cómo te llamas? We have the verb, remember, infinitive, to talk or to call oneself. Llamar, we call it llamas, right? Me llamo Alicia Mendez. So she's saying, I call myself Alicia Mendez. Then we have some more nuanced, newer ones we'll get to in a little bit. Hola, ¿qué hay de nuevo? What's new? Nada, ¿y tú? And you? ¿Qué tal? What's happening? What's going on? What up? So let's go. If you want to follow along with the PowerPoint or go directly to the ebook on MindTap, this is pages 12 and 13. So we have our greetings, right? Many of these are self-explanatory, right? Buenos dias, buenas tardes, buenas noches, right? The day and the times can be a little bit of a gray area depending on where you are in the world, but buenos dias is usually referenced into anything up till noon, and then buenas tardes would be anything afternoon, and buenas noches, there's a little bit of a gray area. But as we'll see in these different renditions of the word buenos or buenas, it's dias because dias is a masculine plural noun, so we have buenos. Tardes is a masculine feminine noun, so we have buenas, and the same for buenas noches. So we have ¿qué tal? ¿Qué tal is exceptionally useful, right? You want to be able to say as many things as you can in the most convenient way possible when you're creating with the language. So ¿qué tal is how's it going? Obviously what we see here on the text, but it also has more nuance. It also means how was or what was this like? So we could say ¿qué tal la película? How was the movie? Or ¿qué tal hoy? How's the day going, right? So it has a lot of uses for being just two words. This is totally idiomatic, which means it's expressional. It doesn't literally translate word for word. So we can continue muy bien, no muy bien, regular. ¿Qué hay de nuevo? What is there that's new? What's new? Nada or muchas cosas or todo bien. Everything's fine. When we see some reactions to someone that says something like yo estoy muy bien, we can say something like me alegro. Or if someone were to say estoy muy mal hoy, lo siento amigo, lo siento mucho. I'm sorry you're not having such a great day today. So as we continue, we'll see some more expressions here. Te presento a Rashid. Mucho gusto. Igualmente, I present my friend Rashid to you. Rashid says, mucho gusto, I'm pleased to meet you. Igualmente, likewise, right? We'll go over this in a little bit more detail. ¿Cómo estás? We saw this in the previous video as well as in the MindTap homework. No muy bien, right? You can tell she's sick, right? So what would he say to that? response. That's right. Lo siento. Not me alegro, right? We wouldn't be glad that she's not feeling well. And then, of course, adios. Even if you've never studied Spanish before, you should know hola and adios, right? These are basic structures that are just culturally embedded into our society, right? So some more presentaciones that we've seen. We saw como te llamas. Remember, the verbs change according to the subject. So for a formal asking of someone's name, ¿Cómo se llama usted? So you could say, ¿Cómo se llama usted, profesor? Well, bueno, me llamo Professor Street. And to your friends and other people, ¿Cómo te llamas, right? What's your name? Le presento a. We'll get into this in more detail, but the verb in the infinitive is presentar. I present my friend. Le presento a Miguel. And then if someone were going to introduce me to Juan, te presento a Juan, right? Mucho gusto. Nice to meet you. Igualmente. Same here, likewise, right? You hear some people here say likewise, right? Despedidas. These are how to say goodbye, right? Adios or ciao. Buenas noches, buenas tardes, hasta luego, hasta mañana, nos vemos, we see each other, nos vemos, y hablamos más tarde, right? That's a direct sentence. We will speak later. We will speak more later. Hablamos, we speak, hablamos más tarde. Hablo más tarde, I speak. Hablas más tarde, you speak. Habla más tarde, he, she, it speaks, right? Etc., right? So we have a lot of these phrases here that we can continually practice, right? Like I mentioned earlier, you want to always be trying to say things aloud, even when you're doing the homework. Your accent will improve the more you say things, but if you're not saying the words, you're never going to get it, right? It's all not going to make sense. The more you say it, the more you will implicitly, so behind the scenes, relate it to what you already know about the way you speak English. There's so many of these things that are exactly the same as English as in Spanish. They just sound different and look different, but the structures behind them are exactly the same. So continue to go with me on this ride and reach out if you need anything. I'm happy to help. And I'm excited to be here with you guys this semester. So, hasta luego, nos vemos, hablamos más tarde y chao.